Hello, this video is about when does life actually begin. The religious right and the right wingers all like to scream and complain and whine that life begins when an egg is fertilized. Well, from these pictures, you're going to see that is complete nonsense and craziness. Okay, in this chart, we see the progression of a human embryo from day one, fertilized egg, up to day 60, about 9 weeks total. Um, The first day, it is not even measurable, extremely small. They call 4 days 0.15 millimeters, which is very small. It's a tenth of a millimeter. I'm going to try to maybe a hundredth of an inch. I'm not sure. 5.5 days, zero point 0.5 millimeters, zero point 0.5 millimeters. Finally, hey, zero point 0.3 millimeters. We're getting closer to a whole millimeter, zero point 0.4. Then now 1.5 millimeters between 17 to 19 days, which is a little shy of 3 weeks. And by the way, this scale is about 5 times too big, at least, because here they show 2.5 millimeters as being almost as long as a centimeter. So it should be about one-fourth the size. So that means all these pictures are about 4 times bigger than they should be. So we are actually looking at bigger pictures. So this picture here at one-fourth the size would be about the size of a quarter, which is quite small, I think. And so continuing on, here we have something like a tadpole at 26 days. It's only 3.5 millimeters. It is about the size of a piece of rice, or maybe a little bigger. Then here we have a kind of a tadpole getting more chubby a week later, 5 days later. Got a big tail on this guy right here. It could be a bird or something with a big tail. Here the tail is becoming more pronounced. There's the head, maybe with an eyeball there. We can finally tell. Here, similar, a little bigger in size, but the same structures. Uh, Marker number 16 at 42 days, which is 6 weeks. So this is a month and a half. Still has a tail, but maybe it's getting a little smaller now. Maybe some kind of an appendage. Can't really see. I can't really say if I see any feet, unless this is going to be a foot. It looks like it might be there. It's popping out. So up here at 48 days, which is 7 times 7 or 49, 7 weeks. So it's 7 weeks. It's got some paddles for feet. Maybe it's an elephant or hippopotamus or a human. I don't know. The tail is still existent. I mean, there's still a distinction between the body and the tail. Here, the tail seems to be merging in with the body, and here the tail is kind of gone away and absorbed into the butt, or just been eliminated somehow through, I don't know how evolution does this stuff. And by the way, when you look at this here, 26 days, it looks like a tadpole. I mean, look, it's like a tadpole shape. It's got maybe a little arm coming out like a tadpole does, and you really can't tell the difference between a tadpole embryo, a fish embryo, a bird embryo, a dinosaur embryo, or anything at this point, because we all come from the same fish heritage. And by the way, we burp because that allowed fish to come up to Earth and breathe either water, or when it came out on land, it could breathe air, and somehow the burping is related to switching between the two. So we have some fish structure in our throats left over from our evolution days a long time ago when we came out of the water. And by the way, the eyeball is very non-involved for land species. Fishes have a very much more evolved eyeball because fish have been evolving about 10 times more than mammals because we came from the water. So everything in the water has an excellent eyeball, excellent eye. And by the way, there's a whole science about how the eye can evolve. Religious folks like to think it's too complicated, so it required a creator. No, it did not require a creator. I will not get into that right now. But anyhow, I think the Supreme Court had it right because at about 10 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever, it's about almost 3 months, getting a couple weeks short of 3 months. It's this size, again, about the size of a quarter if it was to scale. And I agree, anything up to here should probably qualify for abortion because it's definitely not viable, cannot live on its own, and hell, it doesn't even look like a human until about maybe, I would say, maybe here or here. This is, I don't know, this is getting there, but still a little too jumbled up for me. I mean, consider all the mammals on land. I don't know which mammal it's going to become. Even here, I don't know, but I'll give it to you. Okay, it's starting to look like a human, but I'm really reluctant, even though it's only going to be the size of a quarter. So I think the Supreme Court got it right back in the 70s, which is amazing. So, and now the Supreme Court overturned Roe. So now Like gave the states the right to vote for whether abortions are illegal or not. And unfortunately for the Republicans, states like Ohio and a few others have said, heck yeah, we want abortion. We want to have the ability to have an abortion. We don't believe in this like conception stuff right there. That's not a human life. It's not a human life on the first day. So finally, I don't know if the Republicans are happy about some states going with abortion rather than banning it. And Ohio had a ban, by the way. Even a 10-year-old girl under incest or rape could not abort her baby. So I'm glad Ohio changed that law back to allow abortions. It's just nonsense. I mean, why do Republicans want to take away everybody's rights? I mean, it's like every time you turn around, Republicans want to take away your right to abortion, right to do this, right to do that. I thought Republicans were small, unregulated government, but I guess I'm mistaken. It's like, thank God for liberals. They let us do what we want. All right. Now we have a picture or chart of different embryos, not the entire line, but some reflection timelines. So here we said this was about 4 weeks, a little over a month, I believe. Here, if you covered up these names, covered them up, and just looked at the embryos and said, pick out the human embryo, you have a hard time. Unless you knew it was on the right hand side, which you can probably predict. I mean, it's like a multiple choice question where you can pick the right answer sometimes by just some very simple logic. So anyhow, when they start out here, all these embryos look the same. I mean, very, 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 very similar to 4 weeks and even beyond. And they all have, exactly the same. I mean, I know these are drawings, but if you took actual pictures, you'd see the same effect. Okay, moving on a little further down the weekly timeline. Of course, fish don't need as much time to evolve, so they're looking more like fish or snakes or eels or whatever, because they've been in the evolution game the longest of anything up here. And all the rest of these are mammals, by the way, except the chicken. Chicken lays eggs. But they have found some mammals in Indonesia that actually lay eggs. There's only like 4 mammals in the world. And the ones in Indonesia are like the top of a mountain where humans hardly ever go. They thought they were extinct, but they rediscovered them a few weeks ago, if you heard the news. So here, if you look at the mammals and the chicken, they still look all pretty much the same right here, except this guy's got a big eye. Why has the turtle got a big eye? He's small, but no one else does. Anyhow, these 4 look the same. You couldn't tell which one's going to be what. Coming down here, well, okay, the turtle, I can see a shell, so he's looking like a turtle. These guys, they got really small appendages. So, well, he's got fins, so his arms grew into fins. See how evolution works? And, oh, it looks like a doggy face. Okay, so maybe you can guess this is going to be dog. That might be, well, it looks like a beak, maybe. And the human or chimpanzee or whatever, starting to look a little bit more like a human. And of course, by the time they're born, they have their own distinct features. But they all started from an egg, and they all started, whether it's an egg from a chicken or an egg from a mammal or a fish. I don't think fish are mammals, are they? No, they're cold blooded. Anyhow, in like a month in, 4 to 6 weeks in, they still look like tadpoles. So I don't know. Hang your hat on that. So is it a human here? I don't know. Or it is human. You couldn't really tell unless you knew the humans on the right hand side. Now we will take a look at the different stages of embryo development. In this picture, we've kind of looked at the first trimester already. Starts out looking like a teeny tiny kidney, about the size of a grain of sand. Second month, a little bit more developed. Third month, about the size of a quarter or a little bit more, but starting to get there. And fourth month, fifth month, 6th month, 7th month, 8th month, 9th month. I don't. Okay, Republicans like to say, "Oh my God." Liberals like to pull the baby out and chop them up in this stage right here, or even like a few weeks or a week or the day before it's going to be born. If that happens, I would be totally shocked. I mean, come on. The scare tactics are crazy. I don't think any liberal, by the way, I hate the term liberal and conservative. It just sets up for clan warfare, which chimpanzees and humans are so good at. Jane Goodall actually witnessed a war between 2 chimpanzee tribes, so we have it ingrained in us because we evolved from chimpanzees. Have about 99% of the same DNA, so it's like we're set up for war. I mean, we've been doing it since the chimpanzee days, and So I hate the liberal versus Republican or the red and blue. I mean, it's just all stupid thinking. It's like everybody's different. Why do we have to put ourselves in a clan other than for her evolutionary urges? So anyhow, here things are a little more iffy because things are so dang small. Even here, I mean, I can see, yeah, maybe banning abortion here. Is it a human life? I mean, it's not born yet. It's probably really has a good chance at being a human life, especially if you helped it out with medicine. And again, thank God for medicine. I'm not God. Thank a doctor for medicine because a doctor allows these premature infants to survive. Okay, I like this chart. Sorry, it's a little bit fuzzy. See if I can fix it. No, maybe not. Anyhow, it's still okay. I like. Somebody had a sense of humor to make this chart, so I just thought it was fun. I'd include it. It's the baby size chart according to junk food. Week 1, speck of sugar. Week 4, a donut sprinkle. I think we saw that already on the size with millimeters. Week 6, chocolate chip size. Week 8, baby size of a jelly bean. Week 12, half eaten corn dog. How many people are going to say, hey, I'm at week 12. My baby's the size of a half eaten corn dog? Okay. Week 18, size of a soda can. Week 24, size of a banana split. I have no idea how they pick some of these things. This one's weird too. Week 30, jumbo bag of chips. And week 40, when it's about to be born, it's the size of a tub of chicken. Like I said, someone had a sense of humor, but I thought it kind of showed the perspective from a grain of sugar to a sprinkle to an M&M at week 6, and then things kind of speed up. Jelly bean, half eaten corn dog, and then so on. Well, hope you enjoyed it. I tried to use video with background pictures and charts for a change. So hoping my video abilities will keep improving. But I thought this was kind of exciting for me because I like this topic. I like to think about things like when does life really start.